Laptop, desktop, or tablet at KFMA.com.
You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live from Rock on 2.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, March 20th. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning in. Did you get my text, Weirdo?
Which one?
I just sent you a text. Did you get it? It was, well, as you showed up just like 2 minutes
Yeah,
before we started the show. You see it? What is it?
You being sad.
And then what else is in the picture?
My empty chair.
Your empty chair. Like, look at that empty chair. Lonely empty chair. I got Peachy Way sign right behind you with an empty chair, you know, and I like butt in that chair. It's a weird fetish of mine. Yeah, it's chair fetish, right? Never mind. Let's get the show moving. You feeling good this morning?
Yeah.
Good. All right. And we're feeling good together. So we're going to have a lot of fun with you guys, giving away lots of tickets, covering a lot of bases. We're going to double up on Let's Get Weird. It's Wednesday, so we'll have another confession session. Tickets on the line for a couple big items. The concert announcement we made on Monday was Stone Temple Pilots, so we'll be giving those tickets away around 8:10 this morning. Also, we have tickets for comedian Dimitri Martin. And, I never got around to giving away tickets for Breaking Benjamin and Stained. I did last week, right? But there was a pair left over. And usually that just disappears. But I asked Mucho, I said, Mucho, if I don't get to that pair of tickets, can I give it away? Like, I don't know, sometime next week, whenever I feel like it. And he's like, yeah, I got you, buddy. He's a good buddy of mine. So awesome. Because that's good news for our listeners who listen to us right when we start the show. Because Weirdo,
yeah, I
want to play a game.
Nice.
600 KFMA, 600-5362. Tickets on the line for that of Stained with Breaking Benjamin, or actually the other way around. They're co-headlining. It really depends on the night, I guess. Along with them, Daughtry and Lakeview. So it's going to be a massive show, October 19th. So it's going to be beautiful weather at the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater up in Phoenix. Okay, so that's the tickets. Those tickets are on sale. And we're going to play a quick round of the last word. So 600 KFMA, 600-5362. If you feel like you're mentally awake at this moment and you could grab up those tickets, I got super easy questions to ask you. Then go ahead and give me a call right now, 600 KFMA, 600-5362, and we will get a couple, we'll get a winner to start off the show. Rock 1 2.1, who's this? Say your name again, because it's all blurry. Steven?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay, so what's your name?
All right, yeah, this is Steven.
All right, Steven. Let's see who you're playing against. Rock 1 2.1, who's this?
Hey, it's Brad.
Brad. All right, Steven versus Brad. I like your name, Brad. I'm sure you get lots of ladies.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys know how to do the last word? It's our verbal hot potato game.
Cool. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, well, then we'll start off with Steven on line one. I'm going to give you a question. You're going to give an answer. Then, Brad, you're going to give an answer back. You guys are going to go back and forth, giving acceptable answers. Whoever gets the last acceptable answer in before 30 seconds runs out wins the round. Best of 3 rounds will win tickets for Breaking Benjamin and Stained October 19th at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Here we go. Steven, yesterday our theme for Tap Out was Winnie the Pooh.
Oh?
Yeah. So in honor of that, Steven, name a character for Winnie the Pooh and go.
Tigger.
Tigger. Okay. It's Brad.
Eeyore.
All right, Steven.
Christopher.
Okay, Brad.
Rabbit.
Yep, Steven.
I want to say his name is Apple.
Al, yes, Brad.
Changa.
Okay, Steven.
Oh, I don't know the pig's name.
Oh, all right. Brad stole the first round. It's good news for Brad. Steven, you got to win this second round to stay in the game, okay? Brad, you're going to start off round number 2, okay? Are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Are you big sports fans?
Meh. Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh, great.
Well, this is going to suck for you, Brad. Here we go. All right, Brad. 30 seconds on the clock will begin. Name an NFL team and go.
Steelers.
Steelers. All right, Steven.
Chargers.
Yep. Brad.
Cowboys.
Yep. Steven.
Seahawks.
Okay. Brad. Speed it up.
Niners.
Yep. Steven.
Cardinals.
Yep. Brad.
Commanders.
Oh, yes. Steven.
Patriots.
Patriots.
Okay.
Yep.
Brad.
Eagles.
Okay. Steven.
Dolphins.
Yep. Oh,
Oh,
Steven
at
got it
the
in there. We're all
buzzer.
tied up. You know, Brad's like, I'm not a big sports
Ravens.
fan. Hold on. Well, you keep going, Brad, and you said you're not a good sport or a big sports fan, and you're literally dropping down the nicknames. You name the Commanders, and
Yeah.
a lot of people in the NFL still, or fans of the NFL, still haven't even registered that that's the new name of the Redskins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you lied to us. Niners, the Bears. I'm like, come
Bears.
on, dude. You definitely like sports. Okay. We're all tied up in the final round. Whoever gets this last round is going to get tickets for Breaking Benjamin and Stained when they perform October 19th. Okay. It's early in the morning. Let's get saucy with it. So, Steven, 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking this question. Name an actress you secretly want to bang and go.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Brad.
Oh, hell. Jennifer Aniston.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston. All right, Steven.
Christina Aguilera.
Gross. Okay, Brad.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Okay, Steven.
Actress. I don't think she ever did any movies, but I'll say
Unfortunately, Steven, you ran out of time. It's a quick thinking game, so we don't have time to contemplate.
Yeah.
And Christina
know a
Aguilera,
lot
she
of
wasn't really an
females,
actress. Hey, you know what though? You put up an excellent fight. So as a consolation prize, if you want to go see comedian Dimitri Martin at the Fox Theater, I could hook you up with that.
Dude, that would be great.
Right on, dude. All right. And then Brad, congratulations. You just won those tickets for Stained and Breaking Benjamin, October 19th at the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater.
Heck yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries, dude. Both of you guys stay in the line. That's how we're kicking off the show. We still have a lot of giveaways to get to. Your morning moron coming up after the latest from Lincoln Park, kicking things off with Breaking Benjamin and Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show. Let's go. All right, welcome back to the podcast broadcast. We are live. Please welcome Avery. Good morning, Avery. Let me see if your mic here. Unmute your mic there for me. And then,
All right.
nice. Oh, look at you. You sounding good. And we're going to be joined by my buddy Johnny from Congos. He's going to pop in on the stream for a little bit as well. Twilly said, man, I moved to Utah for Tucson in December, and God, this place has some terrible radio. I miss you guys. Well, thanks, Twilly. Well, you know, you always watch us and listen to us on demand, kfma.com and whatnot. And it's funny,
We
too.
have the technology.
Everybody says wherever the new place is, that new place has terrible radio, though.
Mhm.
Even though I do know a little bit about Utah radio. In fact, the morning show that was on before Shamanti in the morning, Fook and Michelle, they went to Utah, Salt Lake City. Then Michelle and
Alright.
Fook had a falling
Sorry
out.
about that.
Yeah. And she bailed. And then Fook tried to do it without her. And eventually, just like everyone in radio, he got laid off, unfortunately. And I don't know what he's doing right now. Hopefully he's still back in radio, but it's a brutal industry for sure. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That is Weirdo's side piece, Daughtry, with Artificial. Rock 102.1 KFMA.
Yep. I love some bald men.
That's
You
the
love
one.
bald men.
I do. My husband's bald.
Yeah, I know. I seen him.
Mhm.
And we got Avery joining us on the podcast broadcast stream. Good morning, Avery.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to be back.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things that we're going to cover, including Dan Schneider's apology for being a terrible person. He is the producer of the Nickelodeon series that is being featured on an explosive documentary on HBO. And I have also body cam footage of a Georgia couple who were basically vacationing in Florida, got too wasted on a beach, and lost their kids. Now, this is like, a heartbreaking story on the surface, but it's hilarious when you see how the interaction goes and how super trashy this couple is. And you can only see that video with the audio on the podcast broadcast. So join us right now, youtube.com/beefvegan, or stick around because we got your top 5 and so much more that we're going to address on the air and on the podcast. We'll be back with more after Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right, are you ready for this? Because this is amazing. I have to rewind it a little bit and share the screen. But this is how we want to start off the show. This couple, again, they were a young couple, like not married, have a couple kids, though. They got wasted on a beach and they passed out together very romantically to where people were concerned for the cops game. Hold on.
Yep, time to wake up, guys. Hey.
Bringing down this audio. Look, they don't even wake up.
Wake up.
Wow.
And this girl's pretty hot, right?
Come on, get up. Wake up. Welcome back. Sit up.
Welcome back.
Why did you have alcohol on the beach? You got ID? Do you have ID?
See, and the girl's not having it, right? So she's yelling at the guy, like, get the
You guys
fucking
have
ID
children
so I
with
can
you?
sleep.
Give him my ID and yours. Are they with you? Right there.
Here and here.
Look, he's stumbling. Now what's great is you're gonna see him. They're obviously both caught red-handed. You're gonna ask about the kids.
Where your kids are?
Yeah, where are your kids?
How old are they?
7 and 8.
They're actually 6 and 8.
Boy and a girl?
Boy and girl. Yeah. You were everything else on the beach. She passed out. You're supposed to watch other adults. So.
Now you're gonna see this kid. Watch, he's gonna vape while handcuffed, and then he's gonna give shit to the cop.
Oh, that takes talent.
Yeah.
What happened to your hand? It's work. Work? Yeah. Somebody wouldn't know about it. It's not very nice. I don't care.
Now it gets better. Okay, so now they kind of go back and forth. The girl's a little mad at all the other cops except for one nice lady cop, right? But she is furious at the dude, right? Now they both are drunk and passed out, but for whatever reason, it's his fault. And he's, being asked like, hey, you're going to get arrested for, drunk and disorderly conduct and bringing alcohol to a beach. And he's like, what? It was in cans. Like, no, you can't bring alcohol to a beach, dude. Right? So he's dumbfounded, super stupid. Now, again, girls just pissed.
Kids. This lady is the only person that's been nice. Him, everybody else has been kids. So now we both go to jail. Who the is gonna bond us out?
No one.
Exactly. Now my grandpa has to drive hours to get the goddamn kids. No, I wanna listen to what my grandpa has to say. I wanna make sure my kids are taken care of. I don't.
We can roll down the
I'm
window.
sorry, but
we can roll down the window.
him, I don't trust them. No.
In the truck.
All right, now you're gonna see this girl turn to this guy, her boyfriend, and basically mouth the words, "We are fucking done," and that's gonna be enough for him to make the worst decision of his life, and while he's still vaping too, which is fantastic. I mean, that is impressive. Yeah. So watch, she's gonna mouth this. I'm gonna scrub it. Oh wait, obviously spoiler alert. Damn. Okay, watch this.
They're gonna take care of them. They'll feed
Shooting
them,
death
they'll
eyes.
clothe them.
She's Wildcat too. She's a good time.
Right.
That's a cute girl. I do enjoy that. Johnny, I can get you in here just because I'm showing this viral video real quick. As she said, I am fucking done. So this guy said, you know what? I'm out. Right? And then, boom.
What a dumbass.
And then he's knocked out cold.
So you hear the people laughing in the background.
Yeah. Instant replay on this dummy.
Him, I don't trust them. No.
Well, I'm fucking done with you, right? That's what she said. I'm fucking done with you. And then he's like, well, if you're done, then I'm out of here, bitch. You're on your own. Boom.
A slight lean into the run and knocked out. Stupid.
In Florida, they don't have no sympathy. Now look at the mugshot.
Oh no.
I love how she's like, I don't trust this cop and this cop. Lady, don't trust yourself. You passed out drunk on a beach and you don't know where your kids are, and suddenly you're concerned.
Of course, you can't just put the blame on the dude. It wasn't 100% his fault. Yes, we know this, but fantastic. The guy had instant karma, a black eye, and a sand road rash on his face. We're back on the air, by the way. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Please welcome, joining us from his home studio in Austin, Texas. We got Johnny Congos of the band Congos. Good morning, Johnny.
What's up, everyone?
And Avery, this is Johnny Congos. We've got Avery on the stream as well, as we're hanging out with full crew. Yes. So I think Avery probably met you at KFMA Day when you guys performed in Lincoln Park. That's a potential, right?
It was actually my first KFMA Day, so I was in the crowd, not actually hanging out.
Oh, at that Lincoln Park one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where they were angry with Rome for smoking weed?
Yes.
Best moments ever.
You want to talk full circle, right? So, I talked with Rome shortly after that when I was on KWS up in Phoenix. This was some of my first national press that I got because I got this exclusive of, him being mad at Lincoln Park for Brad from Lincoln Park, the guy who wears the headphones, ratting him out for smoking weed in the green room at Keno Stadium. So I got national press for this, the whole thing. And Rome and I kind of broke down. We made fun of both Lincoln Park and KFMA. And on Monday, Rome is going to be joining the podcast broadcast yet again. So we'll go through that as he's coming out to perform in a very illegal, weed-friendly state of Arizona now.
Nice.
Yeah. Now
we just had him on our podcast a few months ago.
Now, when you had him on your podcast, did you ask him anything about this Sublime situation? Do you know anything about this?
I wasn't actually on that interview. Some of the other dudes did it. I think they did ask him about that. I don't listen to my own podcast, Beef.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand. That's something I definitely want to know because there is drama amongst the Sublime camps in a way. Like I knew Jacob Noel. I had inside information that Jacob Noel was going to reform with the original members of Sublime and then drop the with Rome part and just go with the brand Sublime, which I think is a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at now in terms of whether that's 100% confirmed. I know we talked about it's one of those things where can you imagine trying to fill your dad's shoot? Like there's just no outcome where people aren't going to be. Are we on the air? Or are we on the podcast side?
No cursing.
Okay. Where people are not going to be a complete jerk to you, regardless of how well you perform or not. And from everything I've heard, stuff he has done, he's doing a really good job. You know what I mean? So
I actually read in previous interviews with Jacob, he didn't want to do this for many years, right? Because of two things. One, he didn't want to try to be in his dad's shadow. He wanted to be his own person.
Right.
And two, he didn't want the unwarranted criticism, for trying to do this. And then somewhere along the line, as he was performing with his band Law, and he was just getting better and better, he started to embrace the catalog to which he owns. It is somewhat of his birthright. His mom actually owns it. And, they've been able to, finance their lives based off of, the catalog that their late father put together and released. So he was always the owner of Sublime. And for whatever reason, after all those years doing on the road, doing his own thing, he's like, I'm ready to kind of embrace this now that I'm turning the same age that my dad was when he passed away, and reunite with these guys and do it in a way that's a cash grab for sure. But I think more importantly, I guess the innocent way to look at it is a way to honor his father.
Dude, I don't blame anyone for doing a cash grab. If you've got that opportunity, go for it. Do you know how hard it is to make it as a band out there just from scratch trying to do it? Like, why would you not take advantage of what you're doing? It's do it in a sincere way, which I'm sure he's going to do. It's not just going to be show up and phone it in. But I don't care if people do cash. I'm pro cash grab. Other than this new Beyonce album.
Yeah. We'll get the hot takes on that. But I'm like, yeah, you're pro cash grab. I do recall hearing Come With Me now on 4 commercials in a row. So
we turned some down, Beef. We have some standards.
And you're absolutely right about that. Law with Jacob Noel, they were on tour for several years, putting out music and doing venues about 250 people. Right. And now they're literally headlining festivals, during this summer run, basically for $250,000 a pop, and if not more, every appearance. So yeah, it's good for them. A good way for Eric and Bud to kind of get together and basically feel young again,
right?
With someone that has a spitting image of their original band member. But here's where the drama comes into play. You know, Eric of Sublime, who's the bass player who performed with Sublime with Rome, all these years. Even when Bud dropped out almost initially, it was just Eric and Rome doing Sublime with Rome. Eric put out a statement that literally disembowels any kind of connection whatsoever. Just said, nope. Well, we have no association whatsoever. And a lot of people took that on the surface level. It's kind of like a shots fired in a way. Now, Sublime with Rome still touring as Sublime with Rome without any connection to Sublime.
Yep.
For
this is like the Crown for people in Huntington Beach.
The Crown?
Yeah, like drama. I'm saying like the kind of tabloid drama of it all.
Yeah, because that's all their backyard, and they're the legacy of Sublime and Huntington Beach and Rome growing up in that area. It is.
I don't even know if Huntington Beach. I just picked some random OC or Southern California beach. I don't want to get attacked for saying it was Huntington Beach when it should have been whatever beach.
It's all close enough, LBC, Huntington Beach, whatever. Yeah. But I am intrigued to hear what his take is on that, and I don't blame Rome whatsoever for continuing to tour on that. You know what it is, though? Because it's all about the name. It's so weird how the name is everything when it comes to ticket sales, right? So Queensryche, I think is a good example. If you want to go old school, there's two Queensryche out there, right? There's Queensryche with Jeff Tate, I believe, and then another the other members of Queensryche. They hate each other, right? But the Queensryche with Jeff Tate, the lead singer, doesn't sell as many tickets as Queensryche because it's Queensryche with Jeff Tate and not just the name Queensryche. This happens a lot in the music industry. You see that a lot. So the bigger draw is going to be Sublime, just that name and brand. With, I guess, you got to assume there's people out there who don't know anything about it and just are just oh yeah, I know that one song, Santeria.
Right.
So yeah, I want to go see those guys. And not knowing that the lead singer died 25 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing. All right. Well, we are conversating with Johnny Congos and Avery on the podcast broadcast. We're going to continue the conversation here on youtube.com/beefvegan because I want to catch up with Johnny and Avery. And then also Weirdo came across a Reddit thread that's hilarious, but too naughty for radio that we want to break down on the podcast. So you can join us youtube.com/beefvegan or keep it right here because we'll be back after the new music from Linkin Park. It's Rock 102.1.
Good. I knew I came here for Reddit.
Yes, you did.
Oh my God, Reddit, the gift that never stop giving.
Really though, it's such an endless trove. I love it.
Yeah, Ken said a new album coming out too. Yeah, in support of that. It'll be interesting to see how that sounds. And Jacob is a songwriter and a singer, and he's been writing songs for a while, so it'll be interesting. And it's good to see you, Lindsay, and everything else. Yeah, Johnny just texted me actually, and I get to get a sneak preview of a song when he's not looking. And you sent me a Dave Portnoy tweet. What's this all about?
Oh, just some dumb AI shit I was doing earlier with the other podcast I'm on, Barstool Backstage.
Yeah.
One of the dudes, White Sox Dave, one of the best dudes ever, but he's just he's the heel, it's so easy to make fun of him. So I made a dumb AI song and it kind of went a little bit viral in the last hour.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm pulling it up right now.
Which that is the only purpose for AI music, I think, is mild lulls.
That's not true because we literally have a rap group now, which we're probably going to do some shows for the end of the year and release an EP. But we've been rapping songs and performing songs written by ChatGPT for a good year and a half now. And we go by Rap GPT. And we'll put together some bangers, Johnny. You'd be like, okay.
Yeah, but in the rap world for the last 5 years, have you actually been able to tell the difference between AI and rap? It all sounds the same. What's Drake? I'll play a game with you. Drake record or AI? Go. You can't fucking tell.
Exactly. And that's exactly my argument going into it, considering so many ghostwriters out there. So what's the difference between a ghostwriter and an AI writer? It's the same difference, right? Yeah. In a way. Because you got a lot of
ghostwriter can't kill civilization in the next 5 years. Is that the difference?
Well, that might be a small difference if you're looking at it pessimistically. I feel like, we're going to have a lot of Beyonce is going to have 10 more great country records because of AI.
Please don't. You're triggering me, Beef.
She's going to get into club jazz next.
All right. So you put this together, Johnny. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, literally, I just spent 5 minutes just doing a joke about Dave. And I guess Portnoy tweeted it.
Yeah. So what part of it is AI? Is it the imaging? And then what are
No, the image is just a picture I found of it. Everything else is AI, like ChatGPT put into like a music creation AI. Like it's all AI. I mean, I tweaked the lyrics so that it's like specific to him.
Yeah, nice. All right, yeah, let's check it out. Play it for you right now.
Fuck you, Dave. Fucking White Sox, Dave. Portnoy doesn't like you. Big Cat hates your guts, dog. Storm keeps you around for a joke, but the joke isn't funny. Fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, White Sox, Dave. Hey yo, I'm calling out this clown. Hard out in 5, always letting me down. 5 minutes in, you're already out the door. Running off to another bar like a two-timing fucking hoe. You're supposed to be my co-host, but you never even here. Too busy chasing clouds, sucking up to the bosses. I'm the one holding down the fort, keeping fans entertained. You're just a part-time punk, no loyalty to the game. Fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, White Sox, Dave.
It's actually not a bad hook.
Yeah, it is a bang.
That's it. It just goes on.
Yeah. Now, this hold on, put it in the background. The vocals AI too.
Everything, all the music's AI.
Oh man,
Wow.
It's over. It's over. For if you make generic bullshit music, it's over. Like I think you got like 6 months left before everyone figures out you can just do this, but it's over.
That's interesting that you say that, because then maybe in a way, like, I don't think it's over. I think what will happen is
I mean generic shit's over. Like if you can now, like the game now is do something that it can't do,
right?
Which is hard, because like you want to think like, oh, I'm the one it can't copy. But it can fucking get everyone almost. But there is like someone's gonna make a record. They're like, oh yeah, no way, anyone but a human made that. Like that's what we're trying to do. Is like it's pushed Congos at least in a direction of being like, let's be even more like true to what the essence of Congos is. Whatever that is. And on the flip side of it, on like the making money, making fucking memes and shit, it's like all bets are off. I will use any and all tools to do that. Like
that's what I do. I mean,
Pizza Hut comes to us running commercial. They're not getting any fucking acoustic, real recorded Congos music. They're gonna get like 4.5 minutes of time in Chat GPT trying to make $1 million from Pizza Hut.
The best thing about AI has honestly been for the funny and the memes. Like I'm all here for the funny parts of AI. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, it's super useful for like legal shit. I've been finding it useful. We've had a couple contracts that have had some changes that we've had to go over, and like I can't read 45 pages of music business legalese. It's literally like it's impossible to understand. So you just throw it in ChatGPT and say like, what should I be looking out for? And it gives you better than a $700 an hour lawyer could give you.
That's huge.
That's amazing.
That is massive for sure. I will say this though: the benefit of AI, then, if it's pushing you and other artists like you to outcreate artificial intelligence, then as a motivating factor, then push the medium forward. That's a beautiful thing, and who knows what can evolve from that.
Yeah, it's like it's the physical manifestation of what people have known for eons, which is that humanity is like 99% mechanical and might as well be a robot. And you've always kind of known that in the back of your head, but you never want to believe it because you think you're special and that like, I'm a human, I've got this humanity. And then like this comes out now, 2023, 24, when it at least comes out to the general public and everyone's like, oh shit, like literally almost everything I can do can be done in a matter of keystrokes. So then it makes you think, okay, what is it then to actually be human? Because I do have some call it faith or whatever, that there is some aspect of us that is mildly different. But like, what is that? That now becomes the big fucking question, because I don't know. You can copy me. You don't even know if this is me talking. Just listen to 10 hours of my podcasting. I say the same shit every time.
Well, the mechanics, even how like we create in general as human beings, is like we only know how to create off of what we know. So there's a reason why a computer has a brain, because we have a brain. That's how we know how to communicate. It's how we know how to see the world. So it's not really surprising that AI and our technology mimics a lot of who we are, because it's like that's how we know how to create, is based on who we are.
Right. So what's outside of our mind? That's the question. Like, you know, like what would exist outside of thought? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping, and I'm banking on being too dumb for AI to emulate, you know, like, because sometimes I'll say things that don't make sense whatsoever, so you can't predict that, you know?
Well, yeah, that's kind of a true thing. Like, you look at like Theo Von or someone like that, where like, he found kind of an angle on it that obviously he's not dumb. He's like super smart, I think, like hidden, but like he's found this angle that's not easy for like other comedians even to copy his style, you know? So there is something to that, like, being smartly dumber than AI.
Yeah. And with the art of Theo just making shit up. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, is it gonna be you to finally take down AI because of just all the dumb you put in?
I'll make it melt down.
Can't compute. Well, I love how everybody's like freaking out about AI now. Like this, we're still in the first generation of AI. It's the fifth one that we have to worry about, and hopefully it'll be, you know, another 70 years from now where I'm not gonna bloody be here.
Anthony wins the most depressing comment of the day, saying humans are dumb enough to punch a clock their entire lives only to scratch by and die shortly after their quote unquote retirement.
Thanks for that existential crisis, Anthony. Jesus.
Yeah, you want to hear depressing. You know, we got this our company, my company that I work for, is literally giving out more money than I get paid in an entire year as part of like a promotion amongst all the different stations that they're affiliated with. $2,024 each weekday we're giving out, but it's to like everyone in the West Coast, right? And today, one of our listeners won. Now, the funny thing about this is our Seattle morning show, because that's the biggest market this company owns, they get the honor and privilege to be able to call up these winners and record their reactions. They didn't see a Tucson reaction coming like this because they don't know how Tucson rolls. And this is Samantha's reaction. That completely, they go in super cheesy, right? As you would. And they are kind of just super campy, hot AC morning show. Like, hey, congratulations. What are you going to win and do with this money? You're just $2,000 richer and all this stuff, right? And Samantha is at a dark place in her life, okay? And this is how she reacted to this, and they had to change her tone immediately.
Good morning, Samantha. We're calling from the radio station with some good news for you.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
We're just wondering if we can deposit $2,024 into your account.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? You have no idea what this means. I'm homeless.
Oh.
How much this is going to help me?
Oh, my God.
I can keep my dogs. I can move my trailer here. I can live. Thank you, God. Thank you.
Wow.
Samantha, we are so glad that we could deliver this kind of news to you and how much that's going to help you.
Wait, it did stop right there. No, that's because my phone stopped. But yeah, and then he's like, I normally would ask you what you're gonna buy, but food is that?
Yeah.
So and that's what you get when you call up Tucson, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to come in like a little softer approach on the landing and stuff. Samantha's one of our regulars that calls in all the time. She actually called and let us know that she won that, and I couldn't be happier for her because obviously in the situation that she's in. She definitely needed. Now, unfortunately, she's not going to get the check for a couple weeks. That's the stressful part.
Right. It's going to take a minute. Did you hear what's happening up in Sedona?
What?
Because they have such income disparity, and they're dealing with like a homeless population that is still working in Sedona for the tourists.
Yeah.
They actually had to like sublet like 64 parking spaces to give the employees permission to live out of their cars.
Oh.
Yeah, Sedona's bad right now.
I have a solution for that. If anyone in Sedona is a fan of Aubrey Marcus, they immediately get their house taken away and given to someone in need.
I have to look up that reference. Hold on a second.
Aubrey Marcus, he's like, well, he's actually, he lives out here in Austin, but he's kind of a Sedona dude, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean.
How about the voice message?
It's Rocco 2.1 KFMA. We're back on Johnny Congos and Avery's on the live stream with Weirdo, and we're talking and celebrating Samantha, who won the $2,000. Unfortunately, she's homeless right now. Homeless is a situation that is growing all over the place for sure. And Weirdo just mentioned about Sedona's weird situation with the housing, the cost of living out there being so much, but they also need like regular minimum wage employees in that area, which is still kind of secluded from kind of like a larger city like Prescott that might have some low income housing.
Right.
So they got permits to live out of their car. Now in Austin, Texas, where you're living in, Johnny, have you seen the homeless population explode as well? I hear it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a huge problem here. I live a bit outside of town, so I don't see as much of it. But when you go into town, you definitely see it. I mean, it just seems like it's an insurmountable, unanswerable, like really sad problem. Like everyone's thinks they have a fucking answer, and it's like, you don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're back on the air. I haven't been in the real world for like so long. I completely forget.
That's all right. I know there isn't an answer too. Like I was mentioning, I told a story just the other day. I was driving through a fast food restaurant, and I watched a homeless guy, walk right up to the car as they were about to order and stand in between the car and the speaker and, hit up for money. And I was like, you're just breaking all types of rules here, right? And I kind of got annoyed by this. Then the man walked up to me and he's like, just as I gave the debit card to the cashier at the first window, so I didn't even get my debit card back. This guy stands in between me and my debit card, which again, I'm like, you're breaking rules here, unwritten rules. And then he busts out 3 payday candy bars out of his pocket. And he's like, hey, man, you want 3 paydays for $1? And I'm, pissed at this point. I'm like, no, man, I don't want your pocket candy. And he's like, oh, I just got them from the CVS, which is right next door. And I'm like, yeah, man, if you could walk into a CVS and they don't suspect you of stealing anything, then I could go in there and steal an entire box of Snickers. I don't need you. Like I'm mad. And unfortunately, there's no answer for it,
Yeah, look, I mean, it's like one of those things. Like everyone's got thoughts on it, and like everyone thinks every politician's got some solution as to why everyone else is doing a bad job in their city and that. But it's like when you see it and see how like vast the problem is, it's just impossible. Like I don't know. I don't even pretend to have an answer to how you could try to alleviate something, because the suffering is just like, it's basically unimaginable. Because you see, like, we just see the surface of it when you drive by. You try and have the thought of what it means to be out there, especially when you see like someone with kids and all that. It's like it's inconceivable. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks for bringing this up.
Well, feel good radio on a Wednesday morning. I know. So, I like Avery in New Mexico. Same deal. What part of New Mexico are you in? You like nobody's homeless or
no. Like big deal. Obviously, like it's unavoidable. It's everywhere. Everybody is searching, like you said, for answers, and we all the human in us doesn't want to see anybody have to go through anything like that. But it's just so weird. It's such a weird world. And I at the coffee shop, we obviously see a lot of people who will just like come up and like, oh well, can I have anything, or can I have some something to eat, or it varies between the person that comes up. But it's fascinating to watch like the inner workings and what their life must actually be like, and how different it is from ours, and just the mental state that has to put you in, and like how much that changes you as a person as well. So at a certain point, it's even like how do we even like collectively like meet them in the middle and understand what they're even going through.
I did have an idea for like game show meets therapy, and this is just a joke.
Yeah.
If you thought you were having a hard day, you go on this show, and it's also like therapy, talk therapy, like on the internet, and you have to explain your problems to someone who's living on the street.
Right.
And like 35 to 45 seconds in, all your problems all of a sudden just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win-win. You give the money you were going to pay to someone hundreds of dollars to whine about your life. And I'm not saying that people don't have like obviously genuine mental issues that they need to talk to a therapist for or whatever. But like there's something about that. If I catch myself internally complaining to myself, just a moment of that remembering can really be incredibly helpful in like your self-pity. And again, I'm not saying that people that obviously there are millions and millions of people that need genuine help, and I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of us are just fucking complaining most of the time. Am I doing it again?
Like we're gonna keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. There we're switching gears and talking dirty Reddit comments with Weirdo. It's Rock on 2.1. Is that that's stop happening, guys. Like, well, they say the C word and F word so freely and liberally over there, even though he's pretty much raised in Arizona. And a cowboy.
Dude, I have to hop off it. Sorry, in like 5 because I have to go do another podcast. I just talk shit all day long. Apparently,
I know you're in the podcast circus or circuit. So you're still doing? Are you going to be doing the Barstool podcast right after this?
Yeah, we're interviewing this music industry dude called Rob Abelow. He used to be like in the label side, but now he's running a newsletter that is like one of the most interesting resources I've ever seen for independent artists to like get an understanding of what's happening in the music business right now. Like he's really got his finger on the pulse in terms of what's happening in all aspects of it, from like the money side to AI side to social marketing and all that. So I'm kind of excited to talk to him and like pick his brain.
What are your thoughts on the UMG and TikTok deal, and has that affected you?
I don't know. Well, none of our stuff's with UMG. I don't know if it's affected us. Like we have a TikTok account. We haven't used it. Like I know we should. It's just one of those things. Like
but your music's on there.
Yeah, our music's on there. It's like always impossible to juggle where you should be placing your priorities. Like you see everyone blowing up on TikTok. You're like, well, maybe you should be doing that. But then you spend your life doing that and you realize like, oh, I'm not making good music. It's particularly for if you didn't come up, if your creation style didn't start there. Like there's clearly artists where like that is their thing and you can see why it works. Personally, I love the internet and technology. You've known that about me, but I wouldn't be too sad if electricity went out. If all electricity went out for like a week or two. I know it'd be horrific, but we could get back to some like decent music.
Yeah, but at the same time, you just unplug all the computers and take that away from making music process. But I think that's unfair because you have a brother who literally owns a farm, so you'd be able to survive and sustain off of all the food that he's been growing this entire time.
Don't give away our plan, Beef.
Like that's just not fair, bro. I don't have any farmers in my family closest to, but I'd have to go all the way to Austin for this.
There's always room for beef at our farm.
All right, that's good. It's like,
I'm also 2 hours away. We did the same thing out here in the middle of the sticks in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny, I appreciate you jumping on with us impromptu, and I'll catch up with you soon, and I'll hit you back later on today once I bump that and give it the car test. All right?
Yeah, that's a whole album, but don't like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like super rough. Like some of the songs aren't even finished, but it's this side project we're working on after being out in Texas here for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's a weird EDM honky tonk mashup thing that I think it's like really weird, but I think you're gonna dig it. I'm excited to get I'm always interested to hear your thoughts because, as people know, like you've been there with us since the fucking beginning.
Right.
Like offering.
And you can say fucking right now, which is good.
I said it and like as it was coming out, I was like, whatever, go for it. But anyway, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. Like I always love getting your feedback and your perspective on it.
Well, I always love, your biggest strength, all of you guys, is just meshing together all these different influences from all over the world. And so now that you guys are most 3 out of 4 of you are based out of Austin and you have that sound around you all the time, I think it's fantastic. And that maybe, you know what, I'm excited to hear it because I think the time might be right too, just with the rise of country in general. Not saying it's going to sound like a country record, but I think anything kind of influenced
it's
by
our
that sound.
answer to the Beyonce album. And just to be clear, why I cannot, like, it triggers me, this Beyonce album. It's not because it's her doing a country album. Like that part of it's cool. There's one line in that Texas song or
this ain't hold them.
Yeah, we're going to the dive bar that we really like. I can't remember the exact wording of it. It's the worst lyric ever written, and I think it might have been AI.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just comes across so like, they were like, let's look up what do people that listen to country music like? Dive bars.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
It's just like the weirdest, like it's condescending in a weird way. Like people from all genres have done like country mashups and that, and it's really cool to hear another perspective, like other than like dumb country, which is like there's more dumb country than anything.
Yeah.
But that line, I was just like, I'm out, Beyonce. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm literally reading the lyrics right now, and how many times I've put stuff to make, a song out of on ChatGPT, and it exactly looks like ChatGPT.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate too. But the thing is, you can't have any like really public hard stance against it without the beehive coming at you. We posted things because I look at it as big machine with like 100 writers putting together for this cash grab. So don't tell me it's a passion project that you've always like loved and appreciated.
No, it could be all those things. Like again, I don't actually want to go off to Beyonce. Like she's a legend. Like what can you say? Like what can I say as a nobody sitting in my home studio about Beyonce? But it's like there's something about them. It just seems like weirdly insincere. I could be totally wrong. It just feels that way. And what I sent you it's the answer. It's the antithesis of that.
It'll also help us solve the homeless problem.
Nice. All right. Well, I look forward to listening to it. I'll talk to you here later today.
Good to meet you guys. Good to see you later, man. I'll talk soon.
All right, cool. Johnny Congos, everybody from the band Congos. And we're going to give it on in a minute. Is there a way that you could do these comments in a censored, like it's almost playing a game of how much can you share? Give me an example of this Reddit thread that you came across. What's the subject line?
I mean, pretty much what are some uncommon or unusual things to put on a sexual to-do list? Okay. And I do have a couple that can go on air.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What would you add to that list, Avery? I mean, yeah,
I need an example. What are some of our examples?
So like the first one's like role playing as an IKEA employee trying to assemble furniture during intercourse.
I like that. And be careful with word intercourse. But we're gonna be on 22 seconds.
While getting it on.
Yeah. We'll just say something like that.
Okay.
Because anything that's too technical is too descriptive.
Right.
Yeah. So you gotta have to think like that. I've already hit the dump button twice already though. So I mean, what's another couple times?
Right.
Beep, 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 beep.
Like, does it log that and then like Mac checks it later, being like, "Why'd you hit the dump button 7 times?"
First
in
off,
1 hour?
Mac is so busy. Rock 1 2.1 KF man, welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Like our boss is so like overloaded with work that he never understands. Or, like he knows what we're doing. Here's a funny thing. I'll bring up real quick before we get into this list. He's a one-upper. Mac is, and I love him. But yesterday he's like, "Hey, you losing weight? It looks like you're losing weight." And morbidly, and kind of like depressingly, I was just like, "Yeah, I'm dying." Right. And I said that as like a morbid joke, but sometimes I feel sick, whatever. And it's not even a cool thing to say, to be honest with you. But but say you take that at face value. A colleague, someone you care about, tells you that you're dying. What's your normal reaction? Like, oh my God.
Oh my God,
okay?
what's happening?
Are you
What's
okay?
going on? Can I help?
Yeah, Mac goes, yeah, man, my shoulder's been out. Like, like that is not the same, bro.
Yeah, I do. I have a family member that does that 1-up misery game as well, and it's like, God damn it.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Well, I hope your shoulder gets better. I'll think about it in the afterlife.
As I'm dying.
Yeah.
My face is incurable disease.
I'm like, are you even hearing anything that comes out of my mouth? It doesn't matter. All right, we're back here live on the air. Weirdo's gonna share this. This Reddit thread subject is what?
It is, what are some uncommon or unusual things to put on a sexual to-do list?
I like this this idea because people get very creative, and of course sometimes you go to the internet for inspiration, and there's usual things that you would think for a sexual bucket list, which is probably standard in most people's minds and eyes. But you're talking of like role playing and accessories or what?
We've got everything from kind of like vanilla stuff and just kind of funny all the way to like, oh God, I am done with the internet today and it's only 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the first one is role playing as an IKEA employee trying to assemble furniture while getting it on.
I can't think of something less sexier than being trying to assemble IKEA furniture. If my girlfriend, if I have one, right, if I'm putting together IKEA furniture, and she came in and was like, "Hey, you want to get on right now?" I'm like, "No, get out of my face. I hate life right now." Like, what are you talking about? I'm so angry at this stupid Allen wrench. And I keep cranking this. Like, sex is the last thing I want.
Exactly.
And then
What
it's
about
an
you?
Allen wrench. It's not even a legit tool. It's all an Allen wrench.
It's called an Allen wrench. It's a thing that looks like a 7, right? It's that
I know what it is. It's just like,
good.
it's funny because IKEA always comes with like the knockoff tools, and obviously the Allen wrench is like the standard knockoff tool.
That's why I have a full set of Allen wrenches now, because I've managed to get a piece of IKEA furniture that each one has a different size.
They have them in toolboxes now. It's standard where you should have every single size of Allen wrench, because you never know when you might need it. So continue with your sexual bucket list.
So adding a game of Battleship for some strategic, before play. So, or strip Battleship, if you will. Each hit is an article of clothing that comes off. I would not have thought about that. Now I'm like, because my partners and I love to play board games. I'm like, well, now.
Well, yeah, every game could potentially be turned into a strip version of said game. I like Connect 4. I could easily do a strip Connect 4. Sometimes, bets, any kind of like gentleman's bet can turn into a sexual stripping nature and all that fun stuff.
That is very, very true.
Yeah, I once, when I was starting my last relationship, it was right when pandemic hit, and I attempted to do like a drinking game with my girlfriend at the time, and the game was where Tiger King just came out, and that was the phenomenon. Everyone loved Tiger King, and I loved it too. So I came up with the idea saying we take a drink whenever someone says tiger, and then we take a shot whenever we see a tiger. We were blackout drunk and both passed out without doing anything before the first episode was over, right? It was like a bad idea. It was the alcohol poisoning game, but you can.
There's so many different versions of that, especially if you're like watching an interview with somebody that you know that they're going to repeat the same word. It's like, haha, this is funny. And then it's like, 17 minutes in, I'm at the hospital with alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, I know.
Terrible idea.
Jeff on the stream said a strip Monopoly. And I think that's the only game that wouldn't translate well, because Monopoly lasts forever.
Forever. Somebody flips the table at the end of it.
Yeah.
Everybody's pissed.
Yeah. So you're going to be like naked and freezing your ass off for 3 hours. Just like, hurry up.
Right.
All right. Give us another comment here on this thread. What is a sexual bucket list unusual item that you want to put on there?
Scream your own name during your finish to establish dominance.
That's what you need to establish dominance. Dang. I think you got some other problems.
Yeah.
Small beef is like, crap, I've done this.
I'm thinking now, like, have I done this? But I will do that for sure.
Would you yell your beef, or would you yell your regular name?
I would probably go with beef, to be honest with you. Even though if I'm naked, I know, it's probably not fitting, but yeah, I would still probably go there. I mean, I've definitely had a girl say beef in bed, which is honestly pretty arousing. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was pretty hot. I was surprised at first, but then I'm like, oh yeah, this is how you associate me. Okay, let's do that.
Oh my God, can I admit I have never said the other person's name in bed ever.
Really?
I have never done that in the middle of sex. Like I even thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so and so. But then I just clam up because I'm like, this just sounds too freaking cheesy.
Okay, have you been asked to say something like a name like Daddy, or any kind of unusual like a request as far as calling somebody else? What's an unusual request that you needed to call that person?
I mean, well, Daddy.
Yeah. One. I mean, that's a standard, and at this point, it's cliche.
Sir.
Say sir. Okay. Okay.
And also mistress.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're talking about last night.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. All right. That's a Tuesday night for Weirdo. We're done.
All right. We're going to keep the conversation moving on to podcast broadcast. Be back with your beef tip after these words. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
All right, now can I get to the not safe for radio?
Yes, please.
Oh, this is so good.
Okay, do it.
So this one is flipping a peanut or anything into your mouth using your erect penis as a catapult.
Oh, okay.
Very creative.
That's also I want to say gay. It's gross though. You're putting food on your. Well, okay, so I understand that it's hypocritical to say gross. I understand that. Me personally, I don't want to put my food on my dick and then flick it into my mouth. That's a strange thing. I think I could.
Right. He's gonna go home and do it today.
I'll catch it, but then I'll spit it right out immediately before I turn.
Oh, I did it. Follows. Somebody said skydiving sex, and then I just followed the comments underneath. Somebody replied with, I had never thought of this, but now that you mention it. And then somebody said, this is one time where being fast works in your favor.
Okay.
It helps if your partner knows how to be good at pulling the cord, and whoever finishes first gets the parachute. It's like life and death on that one.
Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's never gonna happen. I'm sure there's somebody who has skydived and had sex, though. I'm sure that there is a couple that pulled that off. Now, not finished, obviously, but maybe at least attempted, popped in, did a couple like whatever, we're floating, and then boom.
Like,
and then, maybe you finished on the way down if you're doing tandem.
Aren't you like strapped in, like even in your crotch with like the buckles and stuff like that?
True.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you'd have to have some very strategically planned like gear to go on too. Which I mean, I guess could work.
I say with the wind, no, it would be like this, like flopping. So you'd have to go out there like fully, at 11.
Oh, for sure. I would never want to do naked skydiving. Like I don't need my tits like flapping in the wind. Like that sounds painful.
That's true. You'd have to have like a fake breast and to be able to pull that off. All right, give me another comment on there.
Okay, so this one, I have never heard of this, and maybe it's a joke, but somebody said Charizarding.
Okay, this is a Pikachu thing. It's
Okay, well, somebody was like, what? And then somebody explained, it says the act of lighting a girl's pubic hair on fire while having sexual intercourse, and then the guy puts it out with his semen.
All right.
Yeah. And then somebody was like, I just woke up and I already regret having done so. That's too much internets for me today. And it's 9 a.m. And then somebody said, gotta catch them all. Chlamydia, I choose you.
Yeah, no, I would call that firefighting, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Using your hose to put out a fire.
But yeah, I saw that one. I was like, okay. And then like one of the final ones was like lifelong celibacy. And somebody said, sir, this is Reddit. We're already doing this.
Nice. That's a good comeback. Good comeback. A couple things we didn't get to today before we get into our beef tip here. There was a man, did you see the viral picture of the Willy Wonka experience in Scotland? And how that was abysmal.
Oh my God,
everyone
it was terrible.
hated it. Yeah, so it was bad. Nobody liked it. And the problem is the man who created it said that he used all his money that he was saving for a dream destination wedding to do this experience, to create a joyful and happy experience. But with the backlash and everyone accusing him of being a devil and a villain and a terrible father and encouraging him to kill himself, it's literally ruined his life. And so, it turns out like that guy's intentions were good. And unfortunately, it just, it failed miserably. And now
another problem with AI. It made it look too easy to do. You went out there thinking you could do it and you could not.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so we're gonna get back on the air. Let me do so. I keep bringing up like depressing topics. I know.
Well, the guy that made the Willy Wonka experience, at what point during setup was he like, "This is not my vision, and I need to refund everybody"? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Where at any point nobody pulled the plug on it. It's like, come on.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on the air. It's Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I guess I'll show this video real quick before we head out of here. This is going viral. It's amongst two rookies. And the rookies are, what is it? Let's see. Oh, Grady Dick and Anthony Black. And they were playing a game. The Orlando Magic were playing against Grady's team, which I think are the Atlanta Hawks. Well, they were talking afterwards, and they're both rookies, so they're both about 23 years old, and they came up with an idea. Let's exchange jerseys. But that idea was really, let's play a prank on our organization and everyone else. Listen to the sportscasters talk about this exchange.
Magic shooting over 50% as well. That's another good number to keep an eye on. 22-1. Are the Magic when shooting 50% or better.
When you play the kind of defense the Magic do, if you're making shots, that's a winning combination.
All right, here. Grady Dick is like, actually, you have to switch spots with me. You have to take my jersey and you have to be to the right of me. And that way the picture will look
Rookies,
like this.
Anthony Black and Grady Dick. One from Arkansas, the other from Kansas. Exchanging jerseys.
Oh, good.
Don't say it out loud.
Perfect.
Not going
Don't
to.
say it out loud. But this is the prank from these NBA rookies. I have no word if they're going to get in trouble for this, but
I hope not. Come on. Let them have fun.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Memers are controlling the world and have probably the highest paid jobs nowadays. Let them meme, please.
That's very true. All right. Unfortunately, we're all out of time. I'd like to thank Avery for popping in on the podcast broadcast as always. Johnny Congos from the band Congos for jumping in impromptu. Let me give you a beef tip before we pass things over to Robin Nash, and she's going to give you a keyword so you could be like Samantha and win $2,024 today. Hangover cures that don't work. It's pretty much all of them. If you grew up thinking liquor before beer, you're in the clear. That's just basically when it's talking about vomiting. That's not going to prevent you from having a hangover. Hair of the dog is only just pushing off the hangover for a while until you come down again, and it's going to be twice as bad. They say the best way to basically cure your hangover is eat something first before you start drinking and stay hydrated. As simple as that.
Yep.
Right?
And electrolytes, people.
Well, even electrolytes not on your list, dude. So, that's the next day. To prevent a hangover is the best way to cure a hangover. So make sure you eat something and then stay hydrated throughout the night. In the morning, you'll be feeling like $1 million or at least $99, whatever.
Or bananas.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Thank you for
99
listening.
bananas.
That's all the time we have for the show. Thank you for listening. Drive safe, ride safe, and rock local. Later.
Upon a side of beef,
cramming in a beef tip as usual.
And to all your grief. But if you've been
didn't say you much.
bad, I will knock out all your
That's true, actually. If you want to be a cheap drunk, don't eat anything.